Fasting is one of the best surefire ways to overcome disordered desires in your heart. And here's what's crazy. The practice of it is all but completely rejected in our culture. We just did a season of fasting in January, and I know that most of us, what we do is we abstain from something. I abstained from sugar. I abstained from fatty foods. I abstained from social media. And while abstinence from those things is wonderful, as you can bring control back, it's not fasting. Fasting is from food, all food. Fasting, as he says, is a psychosomatic response. Who here knows that when you are hungry, you get angry? We've invented a term, we know it so well in America. We call it hangry. And what's so ironic about you being hangry is you've never actually been starving. Never. Here in America, there is virtually nobody. I realize there are pockets and there are people who are hurting. But for the people in this room, we have not starved, where you have gone days upon days upon days without anything to eat. Not because not because you were willingly doing it, but because there is no food available. And so when we fast in America, it is such a sacrifice. It is so difficult that the church has backed off of fasting. But if you look at the church throughout the first thousands of years, right, at least the first 1900 years, the church fasted twice a week, Wednesday and Friday. That was common in the church. You fast on Wednesday and Friday. You break the fast at supper time when the sun goes down. And then during Lent, which, by the way, do you know we're in Lent right now? 40 days before Easter, they fasted that way every day, broke the fast at supper. Every single day for 40 days to prepare your heart for the remembrance of the resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. This isn't what super Christians did. This is what every Christian did. And here's why. When we go without food, when your body goes without food, it triggers a response in our body for something we truly need, right? I used to say to my dad, my brother and I would say, "Oh, Dad, I need those basketball cards. I need that toy. No, I need it." And he would go, "Really? Like you need to breathe? Like you need to eat?" It was the most annoying thing ever. And so I have done it to my children, and it's so good. That is the only reason I had kids, to do the things to them. My father's, you need it. You do need food. And when you bring your body under submission to something it actually really does need, you're doing what Paul said, which I will not be a slave to my body. I beat my body so that it's a slave to me. It does not run me. It does not rule me. The passions and the desires of my body will not be what leads me. And hear me, they will not be what defines me. And we can say that all we want as Christians, but if fasting isn't a part of your life, if you have something in your life that you would love to be set free from, and fasting is not on the table for you, I consider you to really think again on this. It's to train our bodies that they don't get what they want. That they don't get what they want. Because guess what? In life, there are going to be times we don't get what we want. And this, again, for us as an American Christian, when God does not give us something we've been praying for or asking for, there is such a shock to our bodies, our minds, and our souls, isn't there? How? How could you not give this good thing? I was asking for a good thing, Lord. When we fast, when we make our bodies submit to us, it trains our souls to be happy and at peace, even when we don't get our way. Think about that for a minute. Why do I struggle with being unhappy when things go bad? Why do I bring shame on myself and self-loathing whenever things aren't going well? Because I don't have a habit of not getting what I want. I don't have a habit. In fact, if I try hard enough, the motto of our country is I can get anything I want and do anything I want. That's the beauty of democracy and freedom. I just got to be a little patient. But the idea that I can't have what I want, that's not in our vocabulary as Americans. And so fasting is a discipline, friends. It's not about willpower. It's about His power. And here's the thing with fasting. When you start off, you won't feel powerful. You will hurt. Your head will hurt. We are all addicted to caffeine in this country, and so instantly you will have a chemical response to no caffeine. And so you will be foggy and grumpy and angry. But here's the truth of doing a fast that lasts even more than one day, is that when you get into those days following, there does become a clarity, doesn't there, for those who have fasted? There becomes a strength. There comes a peace in your life, and something that is that intimacy and that connection with God, because you are no longer being led by your stomach. Your spirit is actually taking front and center of your life. You know, in the Bible, when Jesus is fasting for 40 days in the desert, and it says at the end, the devil comes to him. I grew up in the church, and I don't know if it specifically got taught, but I know that I grew up in the church with the mindset that the devil came to Jesus at the end of his fast because he was at his most weakest. 40 days without food, he was weak. It couldn't be further from the truth. Jesus, after 40 days of fasting, may have been physically weak, but the devil picked the wrong time to come and try to tempt him. Because there was no closer time probably on this earth that Jesus was connected with the Father and the Spirit than after fasting for 40 days. There is a strength that comes from fasting. And if you're looking for breakthrough in an area of your life, do not sit on the spiritual discipline of fasting.